Good evening, everyone. Dr. Corasanti testified today he would have stopped if he knew he had hit someone.
The family of Alexandria Rice shook their heads as he spoke. Our full team coverage includes Luke Moretti with the defendant's dramatic testimony and Terry Connors with in-depth analysis. Nalina Shapiro then gauges reaction from observers who packed the courtroom.
Luke Moretti begins our team coverage tonight live outside Erie County Court. Luke?
It was quite a day here in Erie County Court. As you said, Dr. James Corasanti taking the witness stand. Took the stand early this morning. He was on all day during direct examination. And then prosecutors took over. He was on for that and spent the rest of the day on the witness stand. In fact, they finished up about 10 minutes or so ago, but they are not done with the cross-examination of Dr. Corasanti. That means he will be back on the stand come Monday morning. Now, there's been a lot of anticipation about this. What would he say? How would he sound? Would he cry? Would he say the right things? We got the answers today. Dr. James Corasanti, soft-spoken and at times sobbing on the witness stand, told his version of what happened the night Alexandria Rice was struck and killed on Heim Road in Amherst. The 56-year-old from Gettsville says he felt his car run over something. His attorney, Joel Daniels, asked, "Did you see anything?" His answer, "No, sir." Corasanti, who's on trial for manslaughter and leaving the scene, says it happened in a fraction of a second, and that of course he would have stopped to help the teenage longboarder had he known what happened. "What would you have done?" he was asked. "Whatever I could do," Corasanti told jurors. Defense lawyers have maintained that Corasanti did not know what he hit, and that after learning later that it was a person, he panicked. Joel Daniels, "Did you know what you hit?" "I didn't have any idea." "Did you stop?" "No, there was nothing I saw or felt." Meanwhile, prosecutors insist Corasanti was drunk, speeding, and texting after he left the Transit Valley Country Club and drove to his Gettsville home. "You insist you were sober?" Prosecutor James Barnacy asked under cross-examination. "Yes," Corasanti responded. Barnacy asked if driving in the bike lane played a role in the crash. "No, sir, I believe I was in the driving lane." "Alcohol not to blame?" the prosecutor asked him. "Correct," Corasanti replied. Prosecutors also pointed out that Corasanti, an expert in the body's digestive system, refused an alcohol test. "Why would you say no to a chemical test?" Barnacy asked. "I was under advice of counsel," the doctor responded. Now, the doctor also testified in court today that he had several drinks and ate food that night, but said he felt fine when he left the country club. Now, I'm joined by Terry Connors, who's an attorney for the Rice family, representing them in a lawsuit against Dr. Corasanti. You were in the courtroom this morning. What did you think of Dr. Corasanti's testimony?
Well, he's obviously an intelligent person. He's an accomplished speaker, and he tried to convey his message, his version of the events. Ultimately, the jury's going to decide whether they accept his version, because the cross focused on his bias, his interest. He has the most at stake here, and the prosecutor brought out the fact that maybe you might just bend the truth a little bit because you have so much at stake here.
Now, at one point, they actually kind of turned him into an expert witness on the digestive system, talking about, the fact that what he does for a living, he knows a little bit about that, and how alcohol is processed and so forth. What'd you make of that strategy by prosecutors?
Well, you might remember that was done to link it into his refusal to take any breath chemical test or blood test, and he would not voluntarily do it. So they tied it in to say, listen, you know how the body assimilates the blood. You know how the body assimilates the alcohol. You understand it, and that's why you didn't take it, because you knew at that point that you would have a high blood level of alcohol.
You've been in the courtroom many, many times for trials. How did you read the jury when he was up there sobbing, too?
No question about it. He was very emotional. I think the most frustrating part about watching this trial is you can't see the jury. There's no vantage point that allows you to look at the jury as a spectator, and that is something I've seen very, very rarely in very few courtrooms throughout the country.
Terry, thanks so much. You're going to join us again at 6 o'clock for more analysis. Thank you very much.